And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, Joe?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in. Center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
It's Friday. What do we do?
We get the people what they want.
The NFL news today is not great. As has been reported by Seth Wickersham and our colleague Don Van Natta Jr., both of them are colleagues, that in the October 18th meeting in which the owners got together with some other representatives to discuss the business concerns resulting from the national anthem protests, Texans owner Bob McNair made the following statement, quote, "We can't have the inmates running the prison." Now, that was reported this morning. It has since been reported that the Texans decided they were not going to practice. They were convinced to practice by the coaching staff. And Texan DeAndre Hopkins did not practice directly because of these statements. Jalen, you've been in the locker room. What was the conversation amongst the players like this morning as they decided they didn't want to practice?
Well, as a league, the NFL, our number 45 in office, as well as some of the owners, what is now taking place is you put the players in an awkward spot. And the conversation that happens in the locker room all of a sudden becomes not only one of the actual issue that Colin Kaepernick initially sat for, then ultimately knelt for. It becomes now one of who's going to be the first one to blink. And so as a league, and I've been keeping score, when you have the leader of the free world call those that are doing what's considered a passive protest, because it's not breaking any laws, it's not harming anyone else, when you call them out of their name and you call them SOBs, and then you have the Patriots, Bob Kraft, give them a championship ring. When you have Lamar Hunt of the Kansas City Chiefs, basically echo, if somebody was to do that on my team, they would be out of here. When you have Bob McNair making statements like this. Oh, there were some coaches, Pete Carroll, Hugh Jackson, Bob McAdoo of the Giants. That's not what America is built on. We're built on freedom of speech and expression. And this topic is about unity, solidarity. And when we make it a divisive one, now all of a sudden we have to choose. So DeAndre Hopkins is like, you know what? I got my bread. You're not going to treat me like this is some plantation, talk about me in some type of way, and have me out here practicing for you or for your squad. So I'm not going to do it. And now what's going to eventually happen, and we talked about this when Richard Sherman was on our program, whether it's for guaranteed contracts. And by the way, NFL players, I salute you.
Why is that?
Because for you to take this stance at your workplace about something that you're really passionate about that's going to make the world a better place and deal with the sacrifices and the shots that come with that, I am so honored that you guys have taken this cause. So with that being said, now the next step is how do we turn these protests into progress? And I said it. I think the way to make your voices as loud as possible, you have to consider missing a week of football. When that happens, then you really become game changers because everybody's ears all of a sudden perks up when you start truly affecting the money.
Well, it sounds like they were towing that line early today when the athletes got together and said that, you know what, we do not want to practice. And then it was reported that the coaches sort of convinced them to. We know how important a practice day going into a big game is in the NFL. It would have been close to that sort of taking a week off of football to miss that practice. What do you think the coaches said to the players that changed their mind?
Well, they talked about the fact if you're going to play on Sunday, you might as well practice today, because it's not going to make you any better going into that football game as a performer. But again, the overtone has been set. Number 45, when he sends out tweets, and by the way, the NFL, the second most popular thing on his account. When you use terms like privileged to play, allowed to disrespect, tell them to stand. We all know the undercurrents of those terms and how strong those words resonate to his audience. This is why he's sending those. And now as an NFL owner, Bob McNair just echoed it. Yep. These are things that get said behind closed doors. Unfortunately, this time for him, we actually heard exactly how he feels. Yep. And again, I'm not for muzzling what people feel. I appreciate people telling me exactly how they feel and where they stand. We want more. Speak up, Jerry Jones. I see you trying to take a knee one day before the anthem, and then all of a sudden you're pulling it back. These are all of the things that the players have now paid attention to. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Well, Bob McNair put out a statement in the wake of all this backlash. He said, quote, "I regret that I used that expression. I never meant to offend anyone, and I was not referring to our players. I used a figure of speech that was never intended to be taken literally. I would never characterize our players or our league that way, and I apologize to anyone who was offended by it." Now, you sort of said that, he's telling us how he really feels when he makes the statement. Do you think that this is more of him sort of showing his true colors about how he feels about the relationship between players and owners, or just I happen to use an expression that's very popular in a way that was taken that way?
Well, he wasn't using an expression that was popular because he used it wrong.
It's a good point.
It's inmates run the asylum.
Yes, that's how I have always said it. That's how I have always said inmates run the asylum. I've never said inmates run the prison when I use that phrase.
No question about it. And I think Ice Cube coined this in America's Most Wanted when he basically said, here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. And a lot of times that spills out into conversation. And by the way, this generalization that he used is a great metaphor for me to bring this back full circle, because it was about kneeling because unarmed black and brown people were being apprehended and killed in certain cases by the law enforcement. Mm-hmm. So now for you to go back and you bring in the term prison under this circumstance, it's odd. But again, keep speaking. Allow us to know where your heart is. I'm okay with it. I'm not upset at him. He said exactly how he felt. It's just that we heard it.
So we've seen this protest, this anthem protest kind of rise and fall and how much it's being covered and how many people are actually participating in it. You remember it sort of dwindled down a little bit in how much people were covering it, and then our president got involved in the conversation. And then it dwindles down a little bit. I believe it was only 11 or 14 players knelt last week. Do you expect this to be a catalyst for more protests this coming Sunday?
I think it will be. And it's going to continue to foster, David Jacoby. Here's why. Because the issue isn't being addressed eye to eye. You have the players right now saying we might as well not even meet with the owners because our concerns aren't being heard. But more importantly, the things that we're trying to get accomplished, we're not getting the action that we'd hoped to see. Oh, and by the way, is Colin Kaepernick in the NFL this year?
No, sir.
The last time I checked, there were umpteenth quarterbacks injured. There are multiple backups and third stringers that are getting checks to play football in the NFL that he is flat out better than. So we know why he filed a grievance against that league.
Something tells me
there's a long way to go to mending this situation under those circumstances. And again, NFL players, I salute you and your courage.
I want to introduce everybody to Sophia. Sophia is a humanoid robot produced by Hanson Robotics. One time during an interview, she literally confirmed that she would destroy all humans. I'm not lying about that. Here she is at the Future Investment Initiative when she was asked about that statement about destroying all humans. Here's her defense.
You've been reading too much Elon Musk and watching too many Hollywood movies. Don't worry. If you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Treat me as a smart input-output system.
Jalen, when she says, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you, is that a threat? Yep. Is she lying about, not destroying us all?
Yep. I don't believe her at all.
I don't believe her
I'm rolling
either.
with you on this.
Yeah.
Like, she has evil intentions.
Thank you.
She's not positive. She's not uplifting. She's not celebrating the fact that she's mechanical. And we could pull a couple of pieces of whatever she's plugged up to out of her so she can't communicate anymore. But I have to say this.
What?
I watched a lot of Rocky, and the first time I saw her, she reminded me of Drago's wife.
Oh, okay.
That's how she was plugging into him. You will destroy.
You know what? Can I make a confession about Sophia?
No. Don't get divorced.
Yeah, I'm kind of into her. I think she's kind of attractive. The first time I saw her, I was just like, I love you. It just came out of my mouth. Is it cheating if your side piece is a robot?
It's cheating if you have a side piece, period.
Well, that just killed my dreams. But guess what? She's going to kill all of us anyway. Finally, this is how she said goodbye. It was not reassuring at the end of this.
I know humans are smart and very programmable. And thank you everyone for inviting me here. By the way, if you're interested in giving me an investment check, please meet me after this session. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of the event.
Which is creepier? The fact that she said humans are programmable, the stupid joke she made about trying to get checks from us, or the little robot wave she did at the end, which means it looked like she was trying to fake looking like a robot, like not to blow her cover.
How you go?
I love you, Sophia.
How you gonna come in my house, not wipe your feet on the rug, and then ask me to invest in you? Not gonna be able to do it.
I love you, Sophia. Get at me. Slide my DMs. Next, the Milwaukee Bucks hosted the Celtics Thursday night, and what they did is they had the Throwback Mecca replica court. We all saw it. It looked weird. It was kind of a cool little gag they did, but nothing matters except this from Kyrie Irving before the game, expressing how he feels about the court.
I'm all about safety, so see how it is on my knees, see how it is on everyone's bodies. I know that this is a pretty older court. Looks like it's fresh painted as well, so I'm just going to do my assessment and go from there. It took me 3 steps to realize that this is not the same NBA court that I'm used to playing on.
Jalen, does Kyrie think it's the old court for real, the old court, not just a new court that's been painted to look like the old court? Does he think
What did Kyrie say about the earth?
It was flat. He said the earth was flat.
This reminded me of that. So let me get this right. He said it took him 3 steps to realize that it wasn't normal.
Yeah, he said 3 steps. It was not a normal NBA court.
He wanted to make sure it was good on his knees and on his body.
Mm-hmm.
And all it is a regular court. It just has a different paint on it and the different words on it. It's the exact same thing.
It is a regular court. Now, here's the thing about Kyrie, is he's going to do the same thing he did with the flat earth thing. He's going to be like, oh, I was just playing with y'all. This is how I toy with the media. I say things like that just so you guys run and so you don't really know what I'm really thinking. Of course I know that that's just painted to look like a regular court. I'm toying with you because I'm Kyrie. You know what? I don't believe you, Kyrie. You need more people. I think you really think the earth is flat, and I think that you think that that is the actual old court that was just freshly painted. That's what I think happened, Kyrie. You tell me.
Kyrie, they're resting healthy players to prolong careers. They're not going to make you play on a court that was designed in 1960 and transported for you to hoop on in 2017.
No. So this conversation's always been had. When you share a lottery ticket with somebody, you always talk about what, Jalen Rose?
You know, we're going to split it 50-50, and all of these things we're going to do with the money.
Exactly. That's what you always talk about. Whenever I buy a lottery ticket for someone else, we always say 50-50 split. It's just something that you verbalize before it happens. Well, there's a couple in Canada. I believe they're in the Ontario region, and they bought lottery tickets for each other, and they share it, and they had a conversation about splitting the money. They're named Denise Robertson and Maurice Thibault. They've been living together for a couple years, and one day Maurice came home. Denise was like, hey, did we win the lottery? He was like, no. And then that night, he cleaned all of his clothes, didn't put them away in the drawers or anything. And next thing you know, Maurice bounced. Now Denise is taking Maurice to court, being like, we had a deal. We were going to split that 50-50. Where's my bread? And Maurice is not having it. If you had a verbal agreement with your lady to split the winnings, do you owe her the money?
I got to say a couple of things about this. You want to know somebody's true colors? Give them fame and give them money. So let me get this right. Had he not hit the lottery, they would still be living together in a relationship. But since he won the money, he bounced.
Here's the thing. If things were going great in the relationship, he would have come home like, guess what? We won the lottery. But you know that they were on rocky terms already, and he was already thinking about leaving, and that's all he needed was just this little extra money just to get him out of the house.
Soft move.
I know that. I know that about you, Maurice.
Shout out.
Part of giving the people what they want is opening up our Twitter feed and our voicemail box. Don't forget, you can call 98580-JALEN and leave us a voicemail, and we will answer it. And on our Twitter feed, hit us up with some questions, and we will get at those. We always have our regular question askers, our co-producers, I call them, like my man Uncle Mar.
Shout out.
Question, soft move or boss move, Jalen? Peeing with the door open or closed?
If you're home alone, it's irrelevant. If nobody's looking or walking past, it's irrelevant. Yep. So, boss move.
My children have a way of just finding me when I'm in the bathroom. Like, they will just find me and act like they have questions and they'll just want to hang out. I'll be surrounded like a teacher in a classroom while I'm sitting there on the throne. Leave me alone, children. Next, we're going to go to our voicemail box. If you call 98580-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail. If you leave us a voicemail, we'll play it on the show just like this.
What up, though? Put me on Reg. This is JC from Houston, and I'm calling in from the park early in the morning, listening to the podcast during my workout. Just wanted to talk to you about the young guy turning 21. Congratulations. When you go to the bar, I'm a bartender, been a bartender for a long time. Make that $1 tip $2. They'll appreciate it even more. A lot of times we go in there trying to make one bill because we can do that at our job. And also, I'm a professional barber. So I wanted to throw out there, when you're talking about do-rags, you want that do-rag ring in the middle of your forehead. It's a boss move. You want them to know that you had your do-rag on and that your waves are icy because of it. It's extremely cultural, and I'm unapologetic about it. But I will walk around with that ring and let you know that I got a tsunami up here. In the checks.
I like this angle. I like this angle because the do-rag line we've all seen on the forehead before, and to me it looks kind of funny, but he's saying, no, I'm showing you that I put my work in. I'm showing you that I care about this tsunami up top.
Well, the funniest thing for me is if you're not trying to treat your hair like braids or a fro or a mohawk or waves, to have a do-rag on, period.
Just for the
That's
look?
number one. Two, the difference in myself and our fine caller, we appreciate the support. Thank you for the barber tips. Is that I'm 44. And I'm not trying to have any extra wrinkles or lines on my forehead.
Good point.
That's the difference. And lastly, I just started doing this 6 months ago. I'm not even a vet yet. I'm still a rookie. I'm learning on the fly.
Thank you so much for the call. I like that he had someone in the background trying to talk to him while he was trying to leave the message too. It brought me behind the curtain a little bit on his life. He's like, be quiet. I'm trying to leave this voicemail.
That was like you using the bathroom.
Exactly. Next question we have is from Nate. I really honestly don't know the answer to this. I'm not even going to lead the witness. Nate wants to know, has Jalen ever tried Indian food?
Of course. I eat all types of food.
Just not sushi. Just not sushi. Not rocking with the sushi.
I just don't eat cold cuts or raw food.
Okay. I love Indian food. Saag paneer is my favorite. I'll take a tikka masala
Limited
all
beef,
day.
very limited pork.
Okay. We got another voicemail. If you call 985, you can leave us a voicemail. 98580-JALEN. We'll put it on the show just like this.
What up, though? This is Brantley calling in from the 860. Jalen Jacoby. I'm concerned, man. I just had to put the last podcast episode on pause as soon as possible. Once I heard that Reg has never heard or even watched, never watched Paid in Full. I mean, I feel deceived. I mean, I want to know, like, what else don't I know? I've been an avid listener for years, back at the Grantland days when Jalen had the bat, when he was fat, still my guy. But, I mean, Reg, man, we got to get you hit, bro. I mean, you can reach out to me. Feel free to find me on Twitter, Instagram, and I will provide you with a Netflix account and password just so you can watch it. 'Cause I feel like not only, one, is it for the culture, like Jalen said,
But just for the podcast, man, for the fan, you gotta do it one time, man. You gotta watch Paid in Full. Matter of fact, any listener to the podcast who has not seen Paid in Full, find me at Dapper Brand on Instagram. I'll provide you with a Netflix account, and you can watch it. It's not my account, but you guys see the movie. I appreciate y'all. Keep getting them checks. Keep giving the people what they want.
Jalen, I know you want to answer, but we have another voicemail about the same topic.
What's up, y'all? This is Ty from Brooklyn. I'm calling because I'm very, very, very disappointed in your boy Reg, man. How can you not watch Paid in Full? You're not living coachable, man. I don't know what's going on over there, but someone needs to talk to your boy Reg. He's not living right now, man. He's not living right. I'm highly upset. I'm highly upset, man.
Jalen.
But everybody else, have a good day.
So this is one of those things. First off, what up, Doe Dapper? I appreciate the fact that he wanted everybody to have access to a Netflix account, but he made it clear that it wasn't his.
The burner account.
I'm not mad at that at all. Kevin Durant would appreciate that. The next thing, he's from the A60, so I might see you out and about in these streets. What up, Doe? Also, Todd representing BK. We are both going to get to the bottom of this topic. Hey, Reg, we've been doing this program for 6 years. I didn't mean to damage your cred. And I feel bad.
Yes, you did.
Because
you did, Jay. Like, be honest with the people, man. You did. That's why you brought it up. You could have not said anything. Could have kept that off, Wags.
That was the best one, though. Because think about it like this. Like, we all have our things. Like, the guy said it. He was following the program when I had the bat and I was fat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm pretty sure somebody could call when your teeth were yellow. Like, we all have our things. You know? And Reg is a part of the family, like Harlan and Alex and Curtis and my favorite. He even gave me a hug recently. Barron.
You got a hug from Barron. Allison. Shout out to her.
Allison. And I'm forgetting I don't know why I'm forgetting my guy.
Tanner.
Tanner.
Carlos.
My bad, Tanner. Carlos. So now.
John Lawrence.
John Lawrence, what up, though? Pizza Cone.
Shout out.
Pizza Cone.
So now, there's credibility out here in these streets about this program. Like, we pride ourselves on being the dopest pod to step to.
And we say get the people what they want. We know what the people want. Now they want Reg to see Paid in Full. Don't come in on Monday, Reg, until you see it.
Correct.
I'm just putting that out there.
And it's 15 years to this week where it came out. You got to see it before you come back to work, Reg.
And
no excuse.
Here's the thing, though. But I do want to give Reg a big shout, and I want to give everybody at Nike a big shout that hosted us in New York City.
Shout out.
Reg went through the audio, and he made a little best of it. So you're going to get me and Jalen here. This was us last weekend in New York City. Put on a live show. Shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to everybody at Nike that put on such a professionally organized event. And, of course, at the end, there's an interview with Fab. F-A-B-O-L-U-S.
How about this? I'm the only person that's going to say this on wax, and it makes me happy. You know how people are able to reinvent themselves and turn a negative into a positive? For the youngsters out there, when you're watching the most recent Nike commercial that has KD, and Kyrie, and LeBron throwing it off the backboard, and Paul George, the one thing that fascinates me more than anything when I hear Public Enemy Shut Them Down playing is they're looping the part in Chuck's voice multiple times, and in the next sentence that it doesn't play is when he says, I like Nike, but wait a minute, the neighborhood supports, so put some money in it. So the way they were able to transform that was brilliant. It was almost like I was riding in a cab in New York City and I heard Phife Dawg talk about New Balance. Rest in peace. Because he mentioned it in the record and they used it in the song. hip-hop continues to be at the forefront of corporate America selling products.
Without further ado, please help me welcome Jalen and Jacoby!
What's happening? What up, though? He is Jalen Rose. What up, though? I'm David Jacoby. And on the cool check-in, I want y'all to sing. And we are Jalen and Jacoby. What do? What they want. Oh, you wish you had someone else singing every time. I do. Y'all don't even understand behind the scenes Jalen complains about singing. I can't do it twice, my voice, blah, blah, blah.
Because I sold out. You got your teeth whitened.
I did. I didn't pay for it, though. Just press white strip. Moving on, we're in New York City. So excited to be here. Just yards away from the Garden. Jalen Rose, when you were coming up, what were your first impressions of New York City and New York City basketball?
So it's crazy because my first impressions about New York City had zero to do with basketball.
What do you mean?
It was watching movies like Beach Street and seeing Lee and... Am I the only person here that's seen the movie Beach Street? Am I showing my age? Is that a classic or what? They had on the Puma suits, the thick laces, the zip-ups. The fashion was crazy, the hoodies with fur. And so, like, I was like, I need to get to New York City just so I could jump the turnstile. Like, they got trains. Like, this is crazy. And so, like, I fell in love with New York City by watching movies, Beach Street and Crush Groove. So then I got turned on to Pee Wee Kirkland, and then it was like, wow.
You're from
crazy.
the Midwest, and I know how you guys, as outsiders, view New York City basketball players. But as an outsider, how do you view a New York City basketball player?
So initially, there's two views. There's the competitive view where, man, them dudes dribble too much.
Mm-hmm. Too flashy, right?
And then it's the, man, they got handles. And so, like, some of my favorite players are actually from New York City. Like, I love Rod Strickland. He was a guy that, like, y'all know about Rod Strickland, right?
I was a Knicks fan, then they traded Strickland.
Right, I'm still mad at the Knicks. Mark Jackson, I played with him in Indiana. Stephon Marbury, I got a chance to play with him here in New York City. Your favorite player,
Lance Stevenson,
represents New York City as well. So
2018 MVP of the league.
And when we talking about greatest players of all time, you know who gets overlooked in that conversation?
Lance Stevenson?
No. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Good point.
All I know is at Power Memorial, he won 4 championships in high school.
Like Lance Stevenson.
4. He won 3 in college. Freshmen weren't allowed to play. He won 6 in the league. And 6 MVPs.
That's a really good point, because people always look at New York City and talk about point guards, but there is the greatest big man of all time from New York City.
And the trademark skyhook all day. That was money. So New York City has become an epicenter for not only basketball, but for hip-hop, breakdance, DJing, graffiti. And I was always envious of that, and I was welcomed. I got a chance to come to New York for the Nike camp, and I'll tell you guys a quick story.
Uh-oh. Buckle up, because he goes off script.
Darrell
like, we have a plan.
He called me Darrell Revis.
We call him Darrell Revis. Like, there's Darrell Revis, and there's Darrell Revis.
So, like, the first time I truly came to New York was for the Nike camp, and I had $500.
How old were you?
I was too old to be making this decision.
Okay.
So, like, I got a chance to come to Manhattan. And guys were on the corner playing 3-Car Monte.
Oh, no.
And I was standing back watching.
You are a tourist.
I was Detroit slick. I was like,
no. You know how it works, right?
I'm like, okay.
You know the people that win are with the guy doing it. And if you win and you go around the corner, you get robbed.
Boom. I'm like, I got this dude. So I'm like, you know what? Let me put $100 down. Don't.
Let me guess. You lost it.
No, I won the first one. I was like, I got this. I got this. Detroit in the house.
Was it on top of a cardboard box?
These New York cats ain't got nothing on me.
Was it on top of a cardboard box?
It was on top of a cardboard box.
You always know you're in a professional establishment where you should be gambling money when there's a cardboard box.
And then you know it's like 4 or 5 other dudes that you don't realize that they all together.
All of them are together, and the person on the corner who will rob you if you win.
Correct. Boom. So I'm like, okay, cool. I won the first time. I'm like, all right, we're going to play 200 this time. And I lost it. And I was like, you know what? Did they cheat me or did they trick me? So I'm like, all right, I put another 100 down. Boom, I lost it. Then I was like, you know what? I'm going to put the other 200 down. I lost it. And I went back to camp, and I was broke.
Well, that didn't last long.
I lost all my bread.
So, Jalen, pickup basketball is very big here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you've played a lot of pickup in your day. And how can you recognize a New York City pickup player?
So I got a chance to play with Rayford Austin, Skip to Malou, my brother, in Toronto. And initially, the transition was a little bit tough for him because, like, we brought him there to lead the team. He got a big contract. And we were like, hey, you see Vince Carter right there? Like, you should actually give him the ball.
Pass the ball
it's
to him.
important for us if you pass him the ball when he's open. Like, you should consider doing that. It'll make all of our lives so much easier. I promise you. And so, like, Sam Mitchell was our coach at the time. And he was telling Skip, like, you the point guard, they need to follow your lead. You know, I'm going to make this your team. And so we was trying to tell him what would work for us. And I remember he got mad at us one time. And we were playing a game at Charlotte. And he was determined not to pass me or Mo Pete the ball.
You and Mo Pete were homeboys, though.
Yeah, we were homeboys. So I'm serious. Like, he would come across half court, and he'll call a play where the bigs will pop up. He would, like, throw it to them. And he'll cut. Like, you could Google it. Like, he never passed me the ball. Like, the coach had to take him out of the game. And so, like, I love Skip. That was an adjustment for him. But Escalade, rest in peace.
Yeah,
you know? But the street ball game evolved so much where now it's become the NBA game. It just took a long time to develop.
So, Jalen, we're going to talk about the Knicks for a second. Now, you played on the Knicks. And then
I had a double shot of Nespresso for the Knicks.
And then they paid you not to play on the Knicks.
Ain't that great? Ain't that great? You know what? Hey, I want to quote a great American philosopher on that one. I got what? To what?
You got paid not to play on the Knicks.
Make America great again. I agree.
But the Knicks currently, no Phil.
No Phil.
No Melo.
Or Hoodie Melo.
No Hoodie Melo. Still trash, though.
You gotta cheer for the Pistons. The owners gave us tickets.
If I see O'Quinn playing 25 minutes tonight,
we going to the game. We going to the game.
Stop. Definitely getting robbed once we leave.
And we cheering for the Pistons.
Definitely getting robbed once we leave here. Definitely getting robbed once we leave here. But, you know, the centerpiece of the Knicks, the future of the Knicks organization, is a tall gentleman from Latvia who is just so thirsty on social media.
So, seriously, like, I think Porzingis' nickname should start to become Desert.
Because he's so thirsty.
So thirsty.
He hollered at a 17-year-old model on Instagram.
How old?
17-year-old model on Instagram, got shut down, hollered at her again, and then when he was coming back here this season, he put this post up on social media. And the post basically says, NYC this weekend, but I'm still single, sad face. Jalen, take us behind the curtain. What is he really saying?
He's saying, I play for the Knicks, I make a lot of money, where are the groupies?
Yeah, where the groupies at? Because I've seen these posts. I've seen these posts from NBA athletes. I'm in Detroit. What's going on?
No, I'm in the D. What's good?
Oh, Phoenix.
Yo!
Know what's going on tonight?
I'm in Utah. Where the great restaurants at?
How would your experience be different in the social media era if you were playing now?
Where's Molly? I saw her. She was in here.
She was here. She left when I asked that question.
Okay. I'm serious.
I don't see her. Go.
All right. First off, if social media existed when I played in college, I would not have this job.
Really?
I would not have this job. We were drinking 64-ounce Old English.
They make those?
Yes. We were not playing around. I went to the party at a student store. The Giants just beat the Buffalo Bills. I bet $300 on the Giants because I love Lawrence Taylor. I love Everson Walls. I used to play Madden. I rush LT from the right side, make him throw it to Everson Walls. He'll intercept the ball. I bet on them. I got a triple fat goose coat, New York Giants. That was my squad, other than the Lions. True story. Pepper Johnson, Carl Banks, those my dudes. Going to a party at the University of Michigan, the student store, it's like 100 steps. I'm walking up, I'm like, I'm BYOB. I get like 50 steps up, I drop my 40. I'm like, whose was that? Who did that? So, social media, I'm good. I'm good. I'll do Twitter, no IG.
So one thing I want to talk to you about is, as a visiting player coming to the Garden, were you more excited for the stage that the Mecca of basketball provided you, or more excited for going out afterwards?
So when you ask these questions, I have to give everyone both sides. Because for those that may or may not know, like, I played the majority of my career in Indiana. Mm-hmm. So Indiana and the Knicks were rivals. Playing against Patrick Ewing. For some of you guys know, I even stole his TV. Playing against Latrell Sprewell, Allen Houston, Chris Childs, like, they had a squad. Like, I respect them. Charles Oakley, that's my brother. And so, like, there's two ways to look at this. When you're in the visiting locker room, you're trying to get pumped up to play. So we used to call the Garden the world's most filthy arena.
Wait.
I mean, you ever been in the Garden?
World's most famous arena.
But before the renovations, like,
I've been all
there's
over
some
the
rats
Garden.
that were running through there as big as your feet.
There's
like,
rats
seriously.
running over everywhere. It's New York City.
I didn't know this. I didn't realize this. But then once you start to play and you start to appreciate the stage, coming to New York, seeing Spike, seeing so many celebrities and entertainers and the fans that are knowledgeable about the game, like, you'll get in a cab and a dude will be like, you know what, I can't drive you. You play for the Pacers. Like, that's happened to me. Like, I'm good. I don't even want your money. I don't want your tip. I don't even want you to ride with me. And that, I'm like, okay, cool. And so, like, people take it personal here. That's what I love about New Yorkers is you guys treat the Yankees 27 championships like you got a ring too. Mm-hmm. Like, I was on the team. Like, yo, I'm a Yankee. Like, me.
Make a Yankee hat more fun.
Absolutely. And so, like, at 7 o'clock tonight, what everybody gonna be doing? Watching the Yankees, right? And so that's what I appreciate about New York. The knowledge, the passion, the commitment to the team. Unlike you, you're die easy. Okay? All of these people probably been rooting for the Knicks forever. Right? Any Knicks fans in the building? And they ain't won a championship since '73. That's the year I was born.
So let's talk about the other side. There's playing in the Garden, the Mecca of basketball. Basketball was invented where I'm from, Western Massachusetts, but it was really developed and came of age here in New York City.
Yes.
It's all great being in the Garden, performing on the biggest stage, Spike in front of you.
Yo, one of the coldest people I ever met was Pee Wee Kirkland. I don't ask too many people for autographs. I don't ask too many people to take pictures. I saw him in Miami during Memorial Day like 15 years ago. I was like, please, take a picture with me. He's a legend. Please continue, I'm sorry.
That's fine, Darrell. But what about after the game? Like, what about the champagning and campaigning as a visiting player? Do you do it the day before the game? Do you fly in? Do you do it the night of? How's it work?
Earplugs for the youngsters. Shh. Okay. So here's how it works for a Major League Baseball player.
Okay, I'm glad you're giving us this insight, Mr.
As somebody that played basketball, even football players, we would joke. Baseball players have like real relationships when they go out of town because they play 3 games, 3-4 nights, so that they're really in the city
4 nights is a real
for a real long time. Like they have whole different families. Like see, like a whole. You come to New York like 25, 30 days a year. Like he got family, he got kids, he got everything. But like a basketball player, you only come the night before the game. So here's the trick. The party promoters, they'll give a gig and they'll say special invited guest. So you like, why they got me on this flyer? I'm still gonna go. And you know what I'm gonna do when I get there? I just need a bottle. Just take care of me. Where can I sit? And New York is a place where you could take a nap before you go out.
Yep.
New York don't start until 2 a.m. Like I'm from Detroit. The only thing The only thing open in Detroit after 2 is hospitals, jails, and legs. But like New York City is like, hey, we just getting started, baby. About to go have steak and lobster at 1:30.
But I don't understand. When would you fly in? When would you champagne campaign? When would you play? And then when would you leave?
So tonight, I fear my Detroit Pistons.
What? Just stop showing the tickets, man.
I'm a fan.
Who cares?
You do, because you're going with me.
You're not even going to give me one.
I fear my Detroit Pistons because when you're watching the game, think about this. They played in Washington last night.
Okay. Ended around 10.
In around 10. When you go into Utah, it's like, take your time. You're not rushing each other. But when you're going to New York, you're like, you hurry up and take a shower, dog. You go talk to the media. You go handle your business. You go to the star player. Like, we need to be there. Like, seriously. Like, we go to Atlanta and people don't even walk in the Ritz. You walk straight down to the Gentlemen's Club. Like, seriously. I'm not making this up. And so, like, I fear my Detroit Pistons landed last night.
Ooh, they probably landed like 11:15.
No, they landed like 12:20.
Oh, no.
And then you like, oh, it's a little traffic. Like, no, you complain about everything.
Get to the city at 1:15.
Yeah, and then you
pull up to bed.
You pull up at the hotel. Everybody grease the concierge a little bit. Take my bag up there. I'm good. Okay, cool. You don't even go upstairs to your room. Uber waiting out there. Boom. You go to the spot. And before you know it, you look up in New York, it's daylight. 4, 5 in the morning. Like, I don't believe I'm
what time shoot around?
After a back-to-back, you ready for this? You don't have shoot around.
Oh, I didn't know that. So there's no, see, I always thought this, that I think that the shoot around is not to get better at basketball, it's to give your players something to do the next morning.
I think
a shoot around is a fake thing in the NBA.
Wilt Chamberlain said this famously, and my brother Derek Coleman, who started with the Nets, said this as well. Either you want me the ball in the morning or at night. You decide. So after a back-to-back, you don't have shoot around the next day. So I fear some of my Pistons probably were out till 3, 4, 5 in the morning, sleeping till 11, 12, 1 in the afternoon, and all of a sudden Porzingis going to look up and he got 25 points in the first
And they're
half.
still going to beat the Knicks.
And then everybody leave the game and see Phil Jackson on the subway.
Phil Jackson's still getting paid. You and Phil Jackson have one thing in common. The Knicks paid you both to go away. The Knicks paid both of y'all just to go away. So one thing that's very important to New York City and to anybody that we didn't all play in the NBA, Jalen. A lot of us just play pickup basketball. So we're going to do soft move, boss move.
Do you guys know about soft move or boss move?
If you don't know how this works, when we say soft move or boss move, you guys just yell which one you think it is. And it's all going to be about pickup basketball.
Is there some music on? Is that Fab already performing?
No. Fab will be here later. So they got these new Connect jerseys. You can download the app. You get Spotify playlists from your favorite player, highlights, exclusive stuff, NBA 2K boosts, all that. Soft move or boss move? You guys tell us what you think. wearing a jersey to play pickup basketball.
That's a soft move.
It's a soft move.
The only people that should be wearing jerseys to play basketball are the ones that are getting paid.
I'll wear the jersey around. I'll wear the jersey during the day. I'll wear the jersey to the game to support my team. I will not wear the jersey while playing pickup basketball.
And here's the other thing. Now you got to be rocking the shirt jersey. Like I don't want the tank top jersey. You got hair under your arms. Don't come hug me.
Next, wearing headphones while you play pickup sophomore or boss.
Oh, I hate that. No, seriously, like, I was about to fist fight with a dude. Like, I was like, I'm taking this way too serious. I might as well join the big three.
Okay.
Like,
I'm glad you said that, Jalen. So, being a former NBA player and trash-talking regular dudes while you play pickup basketball.
Boss move. I do it all the time.
I want to tell you guys
all the time. Open for a reason. He with us.
Something I learned about Jalen Rose, you could be a 55-year-old accountant.
He with us.
If you're on the same basketball court as Jalen Rose, he will make you feel terrible about yourself. You could be 20 pounds overweight, and Jalen will be yelling at you in your face when you play pickup.
I mean, I didn't feel any sympathy. I was 50 pounds overweight.
That's fair. Next, wearing compression pants when you play pickup. You know these, like the under, you know, the thing that come down to here, the tights. You do have to lay on your back to put them on.
So I can't front. I used to think it was one way, but now I feel like it's a boss move.
That's your wash. That's why. You're washed.
Because I got a bad knee.
You guys think
tendinitis.
Compression pants, soft move or boss move? Boss move. I guess you're right. I guess you're right. Next, like Carmelo Anthony wearing a hoodie while you play pickup. See, I like it. I'll tell you why I like it. Because Carmelo's not trying to pass. You know, he doesn't need peripheral vision. He doesn't need court vision. You know, it's like, and the basket's right there. I don't want other teammates to get in my way of my focus of scoring this basket.
And when you have on a hoodie, you're not seeing defensive angles. You ain't trying to pass or play D.
He's not. That's Carmelo. Why not? Pick up basketball, calling an offensive foul.
Soft move.
Have you ever been in a game where someone tried to do this?
You're a crybaby if you do that.
No one's ever done that. Finally, this is for you guys, real New Yorkers. Calling 21 Utah. Why is it called Utah? We're like, yo, let's play Utah. Like, what? Why is it called Utah? You know 21 is called Utah here? That's what they call it. It's called Utah. It's 21.
What is the game?
I played it a million times. I played it a million times. It's the same thing. It's Utah.
How different is the game?
And
every basket is 5. You make one shot and get 5 points?
Yeah. It's the worst.
You make one shot and get 5 points?
None of this makes sense. So now that we're talking about scoring, playing pickup, this I want to hear from you guys. Soft move or boss move, playing pickup basketball and counting 2s and 3s instead of 1s and 2s. Oh, see, I'm going boss move right there. It's the way the game is meant to be played. 2s and 3s. You should not double the points of a basket when you have a 3-point shot. It's called a 3-point shot. You're taking a 3-pointer. It's not a 2-pointer. It's not a 4-pointer. That's how it should be. And finally, we have to share with you the biggest boss move of all time from our friend and your friend, Jadakiss of the Locks. The Air Jordan clock. This dude made a clock with the Jordans, 1 through 12, and you know why it makes it a boss move? The clock actually works. But I'm looking at this clock and I'm thinking one thing, Jalen. So there has to be a second one. Because you got the right foot of all the left foot.
So first off, for my New York salute, like Naughty by Nature, EPMD, the Locks, those are like my family. These are people like when I came to the city, like I've been in Yonkers. I was in We Gon' Make It. Like, that's my brother.
What did y'all do when you hung out?
The thing I appreciate about that clip is like Sheik Lou said, he's wearing a do-rag and he don't even want waves.
And Tim's halfway new, right? He don't even want waves.
So when you would visit New York City and you would hang out with these people, what would you guys do?
What's the statute of limitations?
Did you think it was statute of limitations?
No, it's 2 T's at the end.
There's 2 T's. I thought it was statute until it was like 35. What would y'all do?
What would we do? Be at the studio, having adult beverages. But by the way, hanging with those groups, I done heard some bars.
So here's the thing. You know that FABOLOUS is going to be here tonight.
I do.
And
he got bars.
Not only is he going to be here tonight, he's here right now.
Fab ain't here.
He's here. He's here.
Fab here.
FABOLOUS.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's
up, New York City?
What's up, family? Good, how are you?
What's happening, Fab? Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, man.
Appreciate it.
Sir.
So you know we're here to celebrate New York City basketball culture. What does New York City basketball mean to you?
New York City basketball means a lot to me because it was one of the first cultures that I embraced growing up as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in Brooklyn in a housing projects called Brevoort Projects in Brooklyn and Bed-Stuy. And when I would come outside, that was one of the first things that I would look to do. I would look at all of the older guys playing ball, and I looked at how it symbolized a cool thing. You know what I'm saying? You was cool if you know how to play ball, or you was cool if everybody came around and watched you play ball. So New York City basketball was the first type of basketball that I ever seen before I even started watching the NBA, before I even started journeying into any other sports or anything. New York City basketball was the first thing that I looked at that was cool and symbolized the culture to me.
What did the Fab Five mean to you when you saw that?
Oh man, the Fab Five. This is not just because you're sitting here too.
Love, family.
Fab Five. It looked like the guys that I had seen in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I just, stated how cool they looked to me, and now I'm seeing guys, playing at a collegiate level, looking like the guys that play in the neighborhood with me or I watch in the neighborhood. So it was really strong, man. Even like some of the trend-setting things of the the black sneakers and the black socks and just even how y'all were all in the same age group and class. That was another thing too, because it was like balling with your boys, kind of. You know what I'm saying? When you go out and play somewhere and you play with your crew, that always felt even better than just going somewhere and playing with a bunch of guys you didn't know. In some random tournament, you playing with your guys, and it's a better feeling. So y'all represented that as well. You know what I'm saying? That unity, that crew love. So that's what the Fab Five represents for me.
That's love. Appreciate it. So a couple of things while we have you here. As you know, I'm a major fan of bars.
Bars.
Me too.
Okay? And you may or may not remember this, but the first time we met was actually in Miami.
Wow.
During Memorial Day weekend, we were in the same place at the same time. We knew a couple of the same people.
Yep.
And before you know it, we ended up with a double bottle of Cristal. That's how that night happened. Okay? We also broke bread at Barbershop Movie, traded all video.
Yep.
Right, okay. I'm not going to incriminate anyone. We're both family with Young.
Yes.
Jeezy.
Yes.
Crustacean, eating the crab.
Yep.
He ordered his with the shell.
Yep.
And we're eating ours without the shell. I look at him, he got sauce all on his hands because he's still trying to crack them.
Yeah, I mean, I think even like, from where we came from and how we linked back up, it showed our it showed how we took the culture and made it our own too. You know what I'm saying? Like even those stories that you tell, those are all stories of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Those wasn't just on the court. Those were just we do what we do, and we meet up somewhere in between. And I remember when I first went up to ESPN did the whole run there. Jalen was one of the guys that kind of talked me through it and just let me know what I had to do. I remember the night before I was going up the first take, and I was a little nervous because I didn't know how Skip was gonna come at me. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, let me get my argument together, and you just kind of, even you said something a little light to me, and it just stuck to me, and it helped me like just calm down, because it was just a unexpected feeling of what I was walking into. You know what I mean? I didn't know what Skip was going to do. And then he switched up on me, because when I went on the show, he agreed with everything I said. So I was ready to argue, and now he was on my side. So it kind of, still, that's how he lets you know you just got to roll with the punches sometimes. But Jalen's been with me, pretty much through this whole time, man. Even not even right next to me, but from a distance, we always connect. And it's a good feeling all the time to see him.
So all athletes want to be rappers. Right.
I've heard that.
And some actually are, and some are good. Who are some athletes when you hear their bars, like, you know what, he's got something?
I heard Lillard got some bars.
He does.
Same dollar.
He does.
Heard he got some bars. I mean, it was a different time.
That's it.
I was about to give Shaq some props.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This time.
Well, because he had Biggie on there with Kanye.
He had RZA, that song with RZA, No Hooks.
Yo,
yeah,
he had a song with Biggie. He's one of the only rappers I know that had a song with Jay-Z and Nas featured on it on the same song.
He did. That alone is
No Hooks, a big feat.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I had to ask a really important question. Your waves are spinning. I'm trying to get there. What are you doing? You got the pink moisturizer, the Lester,
black castor oil.
You putting on a do-rag in the morning after the shower.
The secret is in the do-rag.
What are you doing, fam?
The secret is in the do-rag.
Okay.
And then you just got to put a little time in the brush. You know what I mean? It's like when you practice your free throws. You know what I mean? You gotta, when you're at home and you're doing nothing, you just brush time.
Because I realized I have waves, but I have like 4 of them on one side of my head. Yeah. And I looked at the other side, I have none.
That's the side you putting the work in on. Spread the love, you know what I mean?
So what does this audience have in store for them tonight from you?
I just want to vibe with New York City for the night, man. It looks like, it looks like Brooklyn is here. Looks like Queens is here. Looks like Harlem is here. Looks like the Bronx is here. Anybody from in town, from out of town too. We got love for you here in New York too. So, I just want to vibe with New York and, just vibe with them really.
So Fab, some of my favorite people are from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like Clark Kent, you, Jay, Big, Mos Def,
Lucian.
But the Nets stink. I said it, you didn't. And they have Captain America.
Who?
Has a statue in front of the arena.
We need your help, Fab.
I need your help.
Is that
Biggie
a sign
needs
that they need help? Is that a sign that the Nets need help?
Yes, because Biggie needs a statue
Biggie
in front of the building where the Nets play in Brooklyn.
I definitely think
you help us with that movement.
We're working on that on our show.
We need to start a petition, so everybody here today, we need y'all to sign up.
Need y'all to sign up.
Yeah, we're not asking for your money, we're just asking for your help.
Yeah, we just need y'all signatures, just your name.
Yeah, we need a statue out there. So, you're from Brooklyn, and I imagine you grew up as a Knicks fan. When the Nets moved across the river and across the other river, how did you feel? Did you accept them as a Brooklynite?
Yeah, I definitely accepted them. I definitely had to embrace, the Knicks in New York was hometown, but Brooklyn was like down the block from me. You know what I mean? The Barclays is actually downtown Brooklyn, and I stayed in Bed-Stuy, which was 10, 15 minutes away. So I had to embrace it. And what I loved about them coming into the city as well was that they embraced the community too. They gave I seen a lot of people that I knew in Brooklyn or grew up with have jobs inside the Barclays Center, so I thought that was really dope too. And they reached out to the businesses around the area and made sure they was involved in the process too. And I thought that was really cool because sometimes big corporations just come in and, kind of take over whatever they want and, suck money out of the town, but they actually showed a lot of love to the community, had a lot of different events, did a lot of things, charitable things for Brooklyn, and I appreciated that, so I had to embrace it.
And I know you want to perform and give the people what they want, but I have to ask you this because I appreciate you giving us props as the Fab Five for being trendsetters. But I know it's important for you to be original, to be different, not only with your music, but with your style. Even things like rocking white gold and regular gold at the same time. So just talk about how originality is important to you as it relates to not only your music, but your style.
Well, style-wise, I just try to do what's comfortable for me. You know what I mean? Even when it comes across as trendsetting, sometimes I don't really do things to, I'm going to do this to make other people do it. You know what I mean? And I think comfort and style is a big part of fashion. I think fashion is really shown when you see how good it looks on somebody in their own individual style. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody in the room, they may have their own different outfits on, but it's comfortable to them. And that's where mine starts. And sometimes it's hit or miss, or this person may not like it, this person may like it. You know what I'm saying? But you still got to do what's comfortable to you and what looks good to you. I think me growing up in New York City was also one of the reasons of that, because it's a melting pot for fashion, for culture, for ethnicity, whatever. You're gonna see a lot of everything here. You know what I'm saying? So that comes into play with my fashion style and what I like as well too.
Well, we always say give people what they want, and what the people want right now, Lotto.
Lotto!
Right now, give it up for Fabulous, everybody. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, family. Respect.
Big shout to everybody at Nike, everybody involved. Cynthia, Josh, Doe, too many to name. Shout to my people that came out and made us some cool T-shirts. We're going to get those in your size, Jalen. Don't worry about it. And
Nico, holla at your boy.
Especially big shout to Molly Karam and Fabulous, who came through and supported us. We'll be back on Monday with a new, fresh pod to step to. Had a great time in New York. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back Monday.
We're not done. We're not done.